Right now at 5, deputies seek 2 persons of interest in connection to a death investigation in Jasper County, Missouri.
And we've got ourselves a cooler start out there following that cold front. We're going to be mostly cloudy today and again a bit cooler. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, voters in parts of our area get ready to head to the polls for Super Tuesday. We have a preview.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. So that cold front technically still pushing through the area,
yes,
but it's pushed through 95% of the area. So it's a little cooler out there than it was yesterday.
I can handle that.
It's not bad, though. That's the thing. This cold front's not like that last one that dropped us like 60 degrees
overnight. Oh, my gosh,
overnight.
don't remind me.
Oh, that was a big one. This one, though, did bring our temperatures down. We really didn't see any thunderstorm activity like we were anticipating. But there are thunderstorms out there, just not in our area. But worry not. We're not quite done with rain chances yet.
Okay.
We got more.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we need
just a little sprinkle. We need it.
We need some rain, and we do have some more chances later this week. Some better chances than what we had last night. Let's take a look outside. From our camera, it's on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. And so far, we're actually looking pretty good. We got just a few clouds out there, but again, those clouds will increase across the area. MoDOT camera 32nd and range line is now pointed back roughly to the northeast from the intersection, but it's also looking pretty good. Skywatch storm tracker, there's some clouds out in southeast Kansas. There's a few in southwestern Missouri, and you can see we have some showers and thunderstorms down here to our south. There have even been a couple of brief severe thunderstorm warnings here and there with some of this activity, but it again is going to stay to our south. You can see where that frontal boundary is, so that's why it hasn't quite made it through all of the area yet, and that's why we've also seen a couple of stray showers out by Monette, Mount Vernon, and some more thunderstorms up I-44 as you head toward Rolla. So across the area, again, very clear definition of where that boundary is. The rest of us, low to mid 40s out there, but if you're still ahead of it, like Bentonville and Cassville, you are much warmer for now, but you'll cool down a little bit as that front rolls on through. 44 when the kids get on the bus this morning, mostly cloudy skies, north breeze around 5 to 10. We'll hold on to that north wind, more clouds by this afternoon, right around 55, and the wind picks up a bit, north at 15 to 20 miles an hour, but not as gusty as it was yesterday. Highs today, again, much cooler. Instead of close to 80, we're going to be mid-upper 50s, and we'll hold on to those mostly cloudy skies. We're going to be dry for today and tonight, and actually for most of tomorrow, and then we've got some additional shower and thunderstorm chances out there. We'll look at all that in the full forecast here in a few more minutes. Caitlin, my goodness, it's been 4 days. You'd think I'd be used to it. Elise, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, Jasper County deputies search for 2 persons of interest in connection to a death investigation. On Saturday evening, Jasper County deputies responded to an address near 7th Street and State Line Avenue regarding an assault. Authorities transported the male victim, Seth Langford of Carl Junction, to a local hospital with severe injuries from an apparent stabbing. He later died from his injuries. Detectives are currently looking for these 2 individuals as persons of interest. Scott Burleson of Wyandotte, Oklahoma, and Paul Phillips of Seneca, Missouri. If you have any information on these men, please contact the Jasper County Sheriff's Department. On Friday, the Barton County Sheriff's Office received a call regarding the discovery of an adult male body dumped at the Prairie View Regional Waste Landfill in Lamar, Missouri. The victim's body, identified as Manuel Gomez from the Springfield area, was believed to have come in on a trash truck. Troopers say the Barton County Sheriff's Office reached out to them to take the lead in the investigation. Federal authorities charge a Joplin man with receiving and distributing child pornography. Authorities say 22-year-old Reagan Elijah Alexa Garcia, also known as Elijah Hicklin, was part of a group on the messaging app Kik that discussed and traded online messages and videos of child porn. He is currently in federal custody. He has a detention hearing scheduled for tomorrow. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available, of course, free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. The Pittsburgh School Board yesterday approved adding 2 new courses to their offerings. Those courses are financial literacy and earth and space science. Officials say those courses will fall under new graduation requirements starting with the class of 2028. The financial literacy course will be offered to upperclassmen. The Pittsburgh Area Chamber of Commerce wants your nominations for the 2024 Small Business and Educator of the Year Awards. Selections for small businesses are based on evidence of successful operation of a business as well as significant contributions to the community. Selections for educator are based on the teacher's ability to inspire students of all backgrounds and abilities to reach their full potential. If you have a small business or educator you'd like to nominate, head over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Voters in Oklahoma get ready to cast their presidential primary votes for Super Tuesday today. This election year in Oklahoma, independent voters can only vote via the Democratic Party ballot. The Republican and Libertarian parties chose to keep their primaries closed, meaning independent registered voters cannot use a Republican or Libertarian ballot.
All that we have on the ballot tomorrow is the presidential primary, so it'll be a fairly quick vote. We do have ballots for Republicans, Democrats, and Libertarians, and it is a close primary, so you will need to vote your party.
Those voting in the Oklahoma primaries can do so at their 13 polling sites between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The Webb City boys basketball team received some well-earned recognition from the Central Ozark Conference. We'll have the details. Plus, a historic ruling to protect abortion rights overseas is triggering new calls to guard reproductive rights here in the U.S. And we have a cooler and mostly cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
When I noticed my heat stopped working, I decided my water heater was leaking. I decided to call the pros at Pascal. Take advantage of up to $300 off a professionally installed and supplied water heater. Schedule now at gopascal.com.
Last year, Girard girls basketball finished with a losing record. The Lady Trojans drastically turned things around this season. On Saturday, they punched their ticket to state, and they say it's taken a true team effort to get to this point.
This year we've had 6 different leading scorers at different times over the course of the year. I don't think I've ever had a team that's had 6 different leading scorers at some point in the season. So, it makes it, offensively hard to guard when the defense has to decide, okay, who are we going to stop?
Everybody can score. We don't have anybody that can't score, and we all play great defense, and our defense has gotten us to where we are.
Most teams focus on one player to stop, and with us, it's like you can stop one player, but there's going to be 4 others that step up on the court, and then our bench is going to come in and help just as hard.
This is the first time since 2017 that the Lady Trojans are making the trip to state. They're the 7th seed in the 3A tournament and will play the 2-time defending state champion Goodland in the quarterfinal. That game is Thursday evening at 6 o'clock at Hutchinson Community College. Over to Missouri High School basketball, the Webb City boys had their season come to an end in the district semifinals on Saturday night. Yesterday, several Cardinals received some well-earned recognition from the Central Ozark Conference. Webb City senior Baron Duda is named the 2023-24 Central Ozark Conference Player of the Year, as well as a unanimous first-team all-conference selection. This comes after a season where Duda averaged just under 23 points per contest in COC play. Cardinal forward scored at least 10 points in every COC game this year. His scoring high came on February 13th in a win against Joplin. Duda scored 36 points, just 7 fewer than the entire Eagles team. He's just the 2nd player in Webb City program history to be named COC Player of the Year. In total, 6 local players receive all conference honors from the COC Player of the Year. Baron Duda is joined by Carthage's Justin Ray on the first team. Both of them were unanimous selections. Cardinal Junior Holton Keith is on the 2nd team. Then CJ sophomore Brody Pant, Joplin Junior Trenton Gage, and Webb City Junior Eli Pace are all named to the 3rd team All COC KOC. And we've got more playoff basketball in Southwest Missouri. Aurora girls hoops host a sectional last night. The Lady Hounds got here by way of a blowout in the district championship. Now they host Logan Rogersville in sectionals. And the Lady Hounds playoff run continues. They beat Logan Rogersville 54-40 at home in sectionals yesterday evening. Aurora is one of the last 8 teams standing in Class 4 and moves on to the state quarterfinals Friday night. Once again, that's back at the Dog Pound. Their opponent is Owensville. Well, still to come, we're going to see why free at-home COVID tests from the U.S. government will no longer be available to Americans. Plus, got another check of that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Wow, you've really made our dreams come true.
Life's better when you're under our roof.
Applewood smoked bacon. Mix and match 2 for just $5. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Are you game?
I am ready.
Then take a spin on the Wheel of Fortune.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:15 now on this Tuesday morning. A live look outside from our camera on the Cornell Complex. Winds are still a bit breezy, but they'll ease up as we go through the morning. They'll pick back up just a little bit as we head into the afternoon. Right now in Joplin, we've got mostly clear skies, but we're going to see clouds increasing as we go through the morning. MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line, looking pretty good as well. Didn't get any showers or thunderstorms really with that cold front last night as we were hoping, but there are some showers and thunderstorms out there. We've had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. In fact, we have a new one now north of Fort Smith with this activity, but all of this is going to stay well to our south. Here's the extension of that front. Now, it still trails into parts of southwestern Missouri in our area, and we could see a stray shower or two, say around Monette, Cassville, Pineville as this front continues to push through, but thunderstorm activity staying off to our north and east. 7th in range line, looking good. It is cooler this morning, 45, feels like 41 with a north-northeast breeze at about 7 miles an hour. There's an even better view of that front. So back behind it, we are low to mid 40s, but if you're ahead of it, you're in the 50s and even close to 60 like Bentonville is right now. But as this front continues to push off to the south and east, everybody will cool back just a little bit across the area. Mostly cloudy skies for us today, 52 by 11 o'clock this morning, so nowhere near 80 today, but still not bad out there, upper 50s. Mostly cloudy skies, that north breeze at about 15 to 20 miles an hour. As we head into the evening, we've got mostly cloudy skies, cool, but otherwise not bad, falling back right around the low to mid 40s again. And then as we head into our Thursday, late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, we're going to see additional showers and thunderstorms across the area. And these showers and storms are going to stick with us for most of our Thursday and even into our Friday across the area as well. So we go overnight, there'll be pauses here and there, but even into early Friday morning, and then we'll see additional showers and thunderstorms by Friday afternoon across the area. And there is another possibility of some thunderstorms that could be a bit strong, maybe low grade severe. So again, this is for that front as it exits. Again, a couple of thunderstorms possible. I think more shower activity. Some scattered thunderstorms late tomorrow night. And then we have that low end risk over a broader area as we head into our Thursday across the area for some strong thunderstorms right now, with hail and damaging winds being the primary concern. But of course, we'll keep an eye on that for you as we get closer to that system on Thursday. Let's take a look at the week ahead. There's those thunderstorm chances again late night Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Temperatures into the 60s. We're cooler by Saturday again, still low to mid 50s, but it's another brief cool down by the second half of the weekend. And the next week, we're back into the 60s and 70s. And we're keeping an eye on some additional shower and thunderstorm chances by Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
The world is a great big place. It should be traveling.
Have me murdered after this.
Why would I kill you when I love you and I...
You do not love me!
Weekdays at 3 on KOAM TV.
Topping Health Watch this morning, the first ever over-the-counter birth control pill approved in the U.S. is now being shipped to stores and pharmacies across the country. Mandy Gaither has what you know about O-Pill and when it's expected to be on shelves.
It's the first birth control pill that'll be available without a prescription. O-pill shipments are now underway, and the oral contraceptive should be in stores and online in the coming days and weeks.
So to know that it's coming, I think, is a win for everybody.
If it's taken as directed, the company behind the pill says it can be up to 98% effective at preventing pregnancy. It works as a mini pill using the hormone progestin.
And our decades of experience and knowledge with progesterone to say O-pill is safe and making it over the counter is going to improve access.
The manufacturer suggested retail price is $19.99 for a 1-month supply and $49.99 for a 3-month supply. Some of the pharmacies that have said they will carry it include CVS and Walgreens. You can expect to see it in the family planning section. It will also be available online at opill.com and other online retailers.
For most birth control, we do recommend that people use a backup form of contraception the whole first month to be safe, and follow the instructions and take it at the same time of the day, every day.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The manufacturer says the company will have a cost assistance program available for qualified low-income and uninsured people. She says it should be available in the coming weeks. And for people with insurance, the spokesperson says O-pill may be eligible to be paid for or reimbursed through flexible spending or health savings accounts. Starting Friday, free at-home COVID tests from the U.S. government will no longer be available to Americans. The Department of Health and Human Services says it's suspending the free COVID test program. The agency says the decision comes after a decline in case rates. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention also eased COVID isolation guidance recently. However, the HHS Administration for Strategic Preparedness and Response will still provide tests each week. The long-term care facilities, food banks, health centers, and schools. The HHS says people who placed orders for free at-home COVID tests on or before Friday will still receive them via delivery. The program may return in the future. Eating at least 2 or 3 cups of yogurt a week could lower your chance of developing type 2 diabetes. The FDA approved the yogurt industry to make that claim. It comes from studies that have linked increased consumption of yogurt to a lowered risk of type 2 diabetes. The problem is those studies only measured associations and not causation. Experts point out people who eat more yogurt may also be engaging in other behaviors that lowered their risk. They worry it could cause people to eat more yogurt that is sweetened with sugar. Consuming more sugar is a known risk factor for developing the condition. That's one reason the FDA is requiring manufacturers to note there is limited scientific evidence to support the claim. In Seattle, King County Council members are taking action to address the surge of fentanyl overdoses across its area. On Monday, new programs and facilities were announced as part of a multi-part strategy to try and curb the problem. Joel Moreno has more.
Despite the tens of thousands of people who sought help for drug use in King County last year, the number of fatal overdoses continues to climb, especially involving fentanyl.
I think it's a problem that has to be solved.
Everybody that is getting better is because they're getting treatment.
Delivering that treatment is part of an expanded approach county leaders are taking, led by Executive Dow Constantine.
While other communities may look at this and see an unsolvable crisis, King County is taking action.
A 16-bed residential treatment center is one part of that solution, slated to open later this year. That can help bolster the work of 22 walk-in clinics that connect addicts to short-term help. Mobile clinics will also go to where drug users are to deliver help, and more vending machines dispensing naloxone will put life-saving medications in more people's hands.
We need to reduce any barrier possible when someone is ready to seek care to get them in, and this action today opens those doors.
One challenge with all this expansion will be staffing shortages to run these new programs and facilities.
This is a major bottleneck within the process. Licensed, trained professionals that work in the substance use area.
Another hurdle could be chronic users who refuse treatment. County leaders say it's a misnomer that people don't want to get better, and the solution is to have more treatment options available.
people are willing to accept the help. It's just about maybe providing different types of help. So it's up to us to innovate.
Last year, King County reached a record high of fentanyl overdoses deaths. The county currently provides regular overdose prevention and Narcan training. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got ourselves a cooler day out there. Still cloudy, though, and we've got more rain chances later this week. We'll look at that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Where they are. Just reach out to our care team to get started today.
Right now at 5:30, high winds and dry conditions can lead to high fire risk here in the 4 states.
And we're a bit breezy again today, cooler following the passage of a cold front out there, and still mostly cloudy. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door, coming up.
Plus the end of an era as demolition crews bring down a familiar landmark in Liberal, Missouri.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's just shy of 5:30. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. So not bad day yesterday whatsoever, and now it's Tuesday.
I thought it was pretty nice yesterday, and I know it's going to be a little bit colder today, but hey, it's still March.
Not going to be too bad. It is still March, and honestly, February was a lot more like March than...
I know, even August for a second there when it was getting
it got pretty
warm.
darn warm there for a little bit. Not nearly as warm today as Elise mentioned. Let's take a quick look outside from our camera. Or no, this isn't our camera. My apologies. This is the MoDOT camera. It does not belong to us. It does belong to the state of Missouri, and it is firmly attached to a traffic signal at 32nd and Range Line looking back to the northeast, and it looks pretty good. You can see the roads are dry. Unfortunately, we really didn't get much with that frontal passage last night in terms of showers and storms. And you can see where that front is out there, stretching all the way back up I-44, and it's still pushing through parts of our area into extreme southwest Missouri and into northwest Arkansas. And yes, that is a severe thunderstorm warning that's associated with this activity as it continues to roll off to the east on the southern edge of this front. We just happen to have a gap right through our area where there's really not much of anything out there. And you can see again the thunderstorm stretching up I-44 around Rolla and continuing up I-44 and 55 into Illinois. And here's a very good view of that front, the temperature gradient. Everyone that the front has passed through, we've got upper 30s, low to mid 40s across the area. However, ahead of the front, still mild, mid 50s and still sitting at 60 in Bentonville, but it will continue to cool as this front rolls through. 44, mostly cloudy when the kids get on the bus this morning. North breeze 5 to 10 miles an hour. And when the bus brings them home today, about 55, mostly cloudy. It's a bit breezier, but not as windy as yesterday. North winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy through today. Again, cooler, highs mid upper 50s out there. We're going to stay dry today and tonight. And then as we go into tomorrow night and the end of this week, we've got more shower and thunderstorm chances. We'll look at all that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, voters in Oklahoma get ready to cast their presidential primary votes for Super Tuesday today. It's not just Oklahomans headed to the polls today. Voters in 14 other states will cast their ballots on Super Tuesday, with more than a third of the total delegates up for grabs. That means former President Donald Trump can lock up the GOP presidential nomination with a big night. The Alliance of Southwest Missouri gets out their best hats and gets ready for an afternoon at the race's fundraiser. This Kentucky Derby themed event will feature live Kentucky Derby viewings, a Churchill Crown and Hat Bar, simulated horse races, themed drinks, a silent auction, and other Derby activities to benefit the Alliance. This event runs from 2 to 6 p.m. on Saturday, May 4th at the Sterling Event Center in Joplin. For ticket information and more information on the Alliance, head on over to our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. MoDOT wants to alert drivers in Joplin about upcoming road work beginning last night and running through Friday. Crews expect to find crews installing guardrail in 2 locations on Hernus Boulevard between 44th Street and 50th Street in Joplin. These installations will be from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. Drivers are urged to find alternate routes. The city of Joplin announces times and locations for residents to drop off tree limbs and brush beginning next Friday, March 15th and Saturday, March 16th from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Joplin residents can stop by 1702 North Schifferdecker Avenue to drop off limbs. We have a full schedule of upcoming drop-off dates and sites for Joplin residents on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. State Emergency Management and the National Weather Service will conduct a statewide severe weather tornado drill this Wednesday at 11 a.m. Joplin, Jasper County, Carthage, and Webb City plan to move their March monthly regional outdoor warning sirens test to coincide with the statewide tornado drill. Every school, citizen, and business is encouraged to participate in the drill. Areas across the 4 states recently experienced red flag warnings and notice from officials that there is a high fire danger for the day. These warnings are issued to encourage people not to try to burn anything and be aware of potential risks. Fire officials say that in the current conditions, a small fire can quickly get out of hand.
The National Weather Service will put out red flag warning days, and it's, once again, they have the criteria as well of higher winds and lower humidities, but that's definitely going to be days that a fire can very easily get away from you and take off and, create problems to the point that you have to have help.
Area fire departments recommend people call them before any attempt to do a controlled burn to see if the conditions are safe. Demolition crews in Liberal, Missouri raised a familiar landmark yesterday, a grain elevator that's been a part of the community since 1950. KOAM photojournalist Ty Parks watched the landmark come down.
Well, I think it's foolishness. Of course, I know nothing about it. I've watched it all my life, and it's been a fixture. Wasn't hurting anybody. I have a hard time believing there was no usefulness left in it, but what do I know? I've never farmed, so I don't know about that. I remember when the grain, back when I was young, in wheat harvest, half-ton pickups would be lined up from the lumber yard up a block to the north of us, hauling grain up there.
Oh, it's sad. It's been here since, I guess you could say, the beginning of time of Liberal, but I mean, I'm not real old, but it's been here ever since I was a kid. So, part of life, I guess.
It's tough to see this happen. It's definitely a landmark. Every time we drive down Main Street, it's the thing you see when you're on 43. It's you can look across the fields and it sticks out. And so seeing that come down today, it's a hard thing to see for our town. But hopefully there's something else that will improve and go forward with it.
I hate to see it tore down. I think it's still in good shape. I think it would have been worth selling to somebody, some farmer or something, to use for his own personal use, but I don't think that's the railroad's desire.
Officials with the Producers Cooperative Association says the building was demolished on the orders of BNSF Railroad. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Haiti is on high alert after hundreds of prisoners escaped the country's largest prison. Plus, the U.S. is airdropping relief supplies into Gaza. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Of Aaron Sachs and Associates, committed to community service.
Topping World Watch, a historic ruling to protect abortion rights overseas is triggering new calls to guard reproductive rights here in the U.S. Jackie Ibanez has the story.
Shockwaves sent around the world, with France officially becoming the only country to explicitly guarantee the right to abortions in its constitution.
Contre
French lawmakers overwhelmingly approved the bill Monday with a vote of 780 to 72. Many citing the U.S. Supreme Court's 2022 decision to strike down Roe v. Wade as their motivation to pass the landmark legislation.
It's historical. We are all, as you see, very happy. And for us, it's a fundamental right.
A total of 14 states in America have enacted full abortion bans, with 7 others enforcing restrictions on the procedure between 6 to 18 weeks of pregnancy.
All around us, there are extremists working harder than ever to drag us back to a past that we thought was long over.
And with 2024 being a presidential election year, Democrats are trying to amplify voter turnout surrounding the issue. First Lady Jill Biden reminding voters it was former President Donald Trump's Supreme Court picks who voted to terminate Roe v. Wade, especially when it seems likely Trump and President Joe Biden could face off in a rematch come November.
He's bragging about killing Roe v. Wade.
Back in France, President Emmanuel Macron will inscribe abortion rights into the Constitution this Friday as the world celebrates International Women's Day.
Meanwhile, here in the U.S., many Republican lawmakers saw the repeal of Roe v. Wade as a win. Northern Argentina sees about a foot of rain in a matter of hours Sunday and torrents of flooding in the aftermath. The continual downfall of rain hit areas like the town of Corrientes, unleashing levels of flooding that submerged cars and swept into local businesses. The local government says the flooding and damage is an unprecedented disaster for the area. Haiti is on a high alert after hundreds of prisoners escaped the country's largest prison after being stormed by armed gangs. A state of emergency is in effect after at least 3 people were killed in the National Penitentiary of Port-au-Prince Saturday. Footage shows fires burning in the street, destruction inside the prison, and police vehicles strewn with bullet holes. Officials say at least 9 people have been killed since Thursday as gangs stepped up coordinated attacks on state institutions in Port-au-Prince, including the country's international airport and the national soccer stadium. The violence comes as major gang leader seeks to oust Prime Minister Ariel Henry. The U.S. is airdropping relief supplies into Gaza. This as Iranian-backed rebels sank a British-owned ship in the Red Sea. Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin reports from the Pentagon.
American C-130 transport planes dropped 38,000 meals ready to eat along the beaches of southwest Gaza. The aerial delivery comes after more than 100 Palestinians were killed during a failed humanitarian aid delivery Thursday. 30 trucks were swarmed by hungry crowds in northern Gaza, and the Israeli military opened fire amidst the stampede.
There must be an immediate ceasefire. This will get the hostages out and get a significant amount of aid in.
The vice president spoke again before meeting Israeli Minister Benny Gantz.
Israel has a right to defend itself. Far too many Palestinian civilians, innocent civilians have been killed. We need to get more aid in. We need to get the hostages out. And that remains our position.
Miles of humanitarian aid trucks are lined up on the border with Gaza, waiting to go in, but face delays by the Israeli government, who control the borders, and Egypt and Hamas. 2.3 million Palestinians are facing hunger, with many parents foregoing meals to feed their children 1 meal a day, some by mixing bird and animal feed with flour to make bread.
Airdrops are really only ever used as an absolute last resort. They're logistically very complicated and very expensive as well.
Meanwhile, in the Red Sea, a Belize-flagged ship, the Ruby Mar, that was carrying 21,000 metric tons of fertilizer, finally sunk Saturday after being hit by a Houthi anti-ship missile on February 18th. The leak poses an ecological disaster for the Red Sea and its coral reefs. Tonight, we are learning about 3 undersea data cables in the Red Sea that have been cut as a result of ongoing Houthi attacks. This is affecting internet and telecommunications around the world, with 25% of all data traffic crossing the Red Sea having been affected.
That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Hey, Four States, Chris here with Windows and More, where we're still the area's #1 option and your...
By setting it on fire.
Judge Judy. Weekdays at 4 on KOAM TV.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:47 now on this Tuesday morning. Live look from our camera on the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin, and the winds are starting to let up. And on Joplin right now, we've got mostly clear skies, but clouds will increase across the area as we head through the morning hours in the 4 states. MoDOT camera 32nd and range line looking pretty good as well. Skywatch storm tracker, not really anything. A couple of stray showers down around Cassville, and that's about it. However, you can see that there is a severe thunderstorm warning associated with this complex. It's south of us between Fayetteville and Fort Smith, just rolling to the east now of I-49. And this is part of that cold front that stretches back up to the north, and some scattered showers and thunderstorms around the Rolla area, stretching back toward Lebanon. You can see they tried to get some just outside of us, south of Springfield and east of Mount Vernon, and we've got those stray showers just south of Cassville out there with that front. Unfortunately, we didn't get much out of this front, but don't worry, we've got additional rain chances this week. 45 in Joplin right now, feels like 41 with that north-northeast breeze at 7. There's that great definition of where that cold front is. Back behind it, upper 30s, low to mid 40s across the area. Ahead of it, still mild for now, 50s, even 60 down in Bentonville. As we get our morning started, we're going to eventually make right around 52 by 11 a.m. We're going to have mostly cloudy skies, and our north winds are going to be a bit breezy, about 15 to 20 miles an hour out there. Mostly cloudy skies through the afternoon and considerably cooler compared to yesterday by about 20 degrees or so as we go into the upper 50s. We'll be mostly cloudy tonight and chilly, but otherwise it could be worse. We're back into the low to mid 40s across the area. And then as we go late Wednesday night into Thursday and Friday, we're going to start to see showers and thunderstorms across the area by Thursday morning, and they'll continue through the day on Thursday. They will continue into Thursday evening and into Friday morning, and then there'll be a brief pause in activity Friday late morning, mid-morning, and then by the afternoon, more showers and thunderstorms will start to roll through the area. And for Thursday, we are keeping an eye on another potential round for some strong to low-grade severe storms. So again, associated with the front, we saw on the Skywatch Storm Tracker thunderstorms. They're just not filling this gap, but there's still that remote possibility. By tomorrow night, a few isolated to widely scattered thunderstorms, and then we have that low end risk for some strong, potentially low-grade severe thunderstorms by Thursday. And that is going to be primarily a risk with some small hail and some gusty winds, but we, of course, will keep an eye on that for you. There's those thunderstorm chances through Friday, temperatures into the 60s. We're a little colder on Saturday, and then as we head into the next week, the warm weather returns back in the 60s and 70s with additional shower and thunderstorm chances by next Wednesday and Thursday. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
In Minnesota, many fans of women's sports are celebrating after the opening of a bar that showcases only sports played by female athletes. The bar's owner says it was time for them to have a place they call their own. Jason Rantella is there.
With a line along the building.
It's a happy day. It's a real happy day.
And people waiting more than an hour to get inside. This level of pageantry may be fitting. A first pitch for the first Minnesota bar showcasing all women's sports all the time.
I played hockey for about 12 years, and we had to beg to get ice time.
Yay! People of all ages.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Packing the inside of the bar before lunchtime.
For a place for all women's sports to be able to watch. And there's TVs everywhere, wall to wall.
The Seward Neighborhood Watering Hole is taking the space of the former Tracy Saloon and Eatery.
Absolute madness, but in the best way possible.
Owner Jillian Hiscock says the goal was to create a space dedicated to women's sports and fans after visiting a sports bar last year that did anything but.
I think people have been ready for this and waiting for this for a really long time, and so to have it here and to have folks inside means so much.
This is incredible. I love the atmosphere. I love the fact that we finally have a place like this here in Minnesota.
A place so popular Friday, Jillian and her staff really have to work to keep up.
Our team has been really busy getting ready for it. We're doing our best to get everything out as quickly as we can, but it's just really fun to have folks here.
Fans say they hope it's just the start of establishments embracing women's athletics.
Bar their own! Cheers!
The bar is open Wednesday through Sunday. Stick around. We'll be right back.
When I noticed my heat stopped working, I decided to call the pros at Pascal.
Option in every possibility. KOAM and Fox 14 celebrating our female leaders during Women's History Month and year-round.
The Mega Millions jackpot for tonight's drawing has grown to an estimated $650 million with a $308.6 million cash option. The jackpot has been getting larger and larger since it was last won on December 8th, when there were 2 winning tickets in California. If there's a winner today, it will be the 7th largest Mega Millions prize ever awarded. The largest ever jackpot was more than $1.6 billion won a single ticket in Florida in August 2023. If you want to start celebrating St. Patrick's Day a couple weeks early, today might just be the perfect day. It's National Absinthe Day. The alcoholic drink nicknamed the Green Fairy is made of wormwood, fennel, anise, and other herbs. The spirit was created in the 18th century by a French doctor as an elixir to cure many illnesses. As absinthe was gaining popularity in the 20th century, many countries banned it because it was rumored to have hallucinogenic effects. However, that turned out not to be true and the bans were removed. If you're going to try some absinthe, keep in mind that it is very potent with a high alcohol content.
And we've got ourselves a cooler day across the 4 states. As we get our day started, we're going to be, again, much cooler than where we were yesterday by about 20 degrees. But still, even then, it's not bad out there. 52 by 11 o'clock, mostly cloudy skies, and we'll be mostly cloudy as we head through the afternoon. Highs mid-upper 50s as opposed to the mid-upper 70s that we saw yesterday across the area. Heading into tonight, we're going to be mostly cloudy still. Our north breeze, by the way, through today, about 15 to 20 miles an hour. So not as windy as yesterday, but still relatively breezy out there, and we'll fall back into the low to mid 40s for us as we head through the rest of the week. Tomorrow, much warmer, upper 60s, partly cloudy, late night thunderstorms by Wednesday night, thunderstorms Thursday and Friday. Some of the storms on Thursday could be strong, low grade severe with some gusty winds and maybe some small hail. We'll keep an eye on that for you. And again, they continue into Friday, as do the 60s. We're much cooler as we head into Saturday, and then by Sunday, the sun returns and we warm back up out there into the upper 60s, 70s, and we have additional rain chances by next Wednesday and Thursday. That's a check of your forecast. We have one more hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.